to the Mayor's Roundtable, but guess what? We're not sitting at a semi-round table. We're not even at City Hall, but we are in Berkeley Heights, and it is your mayor, and he's with us today. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio with our guest, John Basicolo. John, thanks for coming out. A little bit different venue today because it's one of our summer concerts. So much is going on in town this summer, isn't it, Mayor?
Doc, it's been a great summer so far. 3 out of 4 tremendous Wednesdays. Last one, we got a little bit of rain, but another beautiful night, and we want to take advantage. We got the Beatles here with us tonight. It wasn't easy putting them back together, but we're looking forward to this and giving everybody a chance to see what we're doing.
Well, there you go. But I heard you just had to put the call out, and McCartney's here, Ringo's here. It's the other two guys who was hard to find, John.
That's right. I agree. They did a great job.
But anyway, seriously, it's going to be a fun night. We do have information we want to get across, but have the concert here we want to highlight. We have the new dedication of the Playground Park we want to dedicate. We're seeing the back of Memorial Field, so there's a lot going on. First, John, what's happening with the redevelopment? Anything moving forward?
Yeah, this week we took the 7 quotes we got back for the RFPs for the construction manager. We boiled it down to 4. We had those 4 people and interviewed them. We've boiled it down to 2. We'll be making a choice on the construction manager within the next couple of days.
Great. Now, the construction manager's job is what, Mayor?
Well, we really need somebody on a 24/7 basis to be there to take control. In other words, a construction manager is going to get paid X amount of dollars, but one of their main jobs is to make sure that the project can be brought in as cheaply as possible, not with respect to the quality, but with respect to the time that's spent and the dollars that are spent. So we think it's money well spent to bring in somebody with that responsibility.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, as the project manager gets chosen, what's going to be the next phase?
Well, then we're getting to the point where we're going to put RFPs out for, well, we're putting a new building up, and who wants to get involved, okay? And as we've mentioned many times, that's really dependent upon us getting the salt dome constructed, which will be shortly, hopefully. And once that starts, then we're ready to go.
Now, salt dome's going to get moved, and after that, we're going to start getting things ready, correct?
That is correct. And the construction manager, one of the other things he does, we brought him in very early in the process. He sits down with the architect. They go over the drawings to make sure that the architect hasn't drawn something that can't be built, or he sees anything that's going to cause a problem. We want to catch it early. No change orders, no additional money. So really, as the mayor said, it's a safeguard for us. So it's very important.
That's great. Now, beyond the redevelopment, what's happening with roads in town, John? Because that's a constant battle.
Yes, it is. And we just finished up the spring roads recently. In fact, I just got the bill today for what we did. It came to $1,018,342 and I think 63 cents.
You think?
I think, approximately. So we contacted the paver again that we used. We're scheduling. Joe and I are going to sit down with him very shortly and figure out which roads we want to do this fall, get him lined up so he's locked in, so we have somebody. Then we're going to look at next spring and next fall again. So there'll be more paving done very shortly.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I know the communications committee's been working really hard at our Be Heard campaign, at getting the word out, putting things up on the website. Sandra Raymakers, our new chair, has really been looking at all our social media angles and just how we can get the information out there. What's the response been, mayors, so far with all that? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, well, Doc, as you know, on at least the 3 concerts we've had so far, our communications committee have had members here. I've been here. Gene Kingsley's been down here. John's been here answering the public's questions. We usually set up all the various boards that are appropriate where we're doing redevelopment, the town, and the various locations, and the people's response have been incredible. We asked for input, and they're filling out questionnaires, and they're giving us their opinion. And this is another opportunity, another avenue to get information to our people. Again, come to meetings, okay? Get on the website, all right? John will tell you what we're doing with that website, constantly updating it. So get on the website, look at the meetings we stream, come to the planning board, because this year planning board is going to be an important venue because of all the development that's going on. So.
And we have the major plan coming up,
Master plan. Yes, that is on for next Wednesday, and that will be live streamed.
Excellent. Excellent. So we got the master plan, the redevelopment, as well as the normal stuff.
That's correct. And as John said, it'll be next. We're going to have two, okay, a weekday and a Saturday, so that people can come and get an understanding about what we hope to do. A master plan basically says this is what the town wants to be. This is where we want to go. All right. Now, with all the redevelopment going on, it's going to be important.
Exactly. Well, I want to commend both of you for keeping it intelligent conversation, even though we don't have a semi-round table. I mean, this is very impressive. John, what else do you want to tell people about what's happening from the business administrator's office?
Well, the only thing I would recommend is that go to our website, go to our Facebook page. That's where the information is from the town, what's going on. If anybody has any questions, my email's on there. You can always email me. You can call me. I'm there every day. Always available.
Well, it sounds like a plan. I know you're going to get those calls. You know, Mayor, I got to ask you something. I read an article last week on TAP, which, you know, we really want to thank Bobby Peer for all of her support. I think I can say that. But about the library and that the library is going to be closed. Now, I've been interviewing you about this for a while. That's not my understanding that the library is going to be closed. Can you comment on that?
Well, we are. In fact, we're going to have a segment tonight directly addressing that issue. That was a letter from a citizen in town. The problem we have, and Doc, you and I have discussed this, we have a fair amount of misinformation out there. We also have individuals who are misinformed. So we're going to try and address that issue tonight, and I have Stephanie Bakos, who is our librarian, who will tell us all exactly how this has come about and where we're going.
I think that sounds great. So, well, let's go get Stephanie. But you know, Mayor, I want to get prepared for the ribbon cutting for the park. So I'm going to go get that prepared, and then we'll call Stephanie over. Would you mind talking to her for me tonight?
Absolutely. She's a delight, and I have no trouble talking to Stephanie.
Well, I'm going to pass the microphone to the Mayor. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio for Administrator John Basicolo, and we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio, and I'm here with Gene Kingsley from the Beautification Committee and Kristen and Greg from Giovanni's, and we're having a discussion. I don't know if I should make reservations for 4, or if I should get some custard, or maybe I should do some Italian or Thai or Indian, or maybe some Jewish dining. I just don't know what to eat because it's Restaurant Week. Yeah, that's right. Gene, tell us about Restaurant Week.
Certainly. Well, about 6 months ago, we launched a campaign called Experience Berkeley Heights here in town, and it's really because we've been doing so much work on the downtown with the streetscape and the enhancements of the buildings. We now want to start driving people here to showcase it. So a resident, a business approached us about could we partner and do something together, and the idea was Restaurant Week.
And that's where you come in, Greg, because this is kind of your idea. Tell us why Restaurant Week. Why do you want to do this for Berkeley Heights?
Well, here in Berkeley Heights, as a new member of the town, it's really nice to have these great restaurants here in town. You've got a number of wonderful restaurants, Giovanni's being one of them. But there's some great restaurants. They go from coffee shops to breakfast shops to donut shops, all the way to these great delis. And having people have an opportunity to come experience this is a great opportunity. And I think they'll really enjoy the restaurants that they don't know about yet.
Well, that's a great reason to get out and enjoy the community. But again, the Beautification Committee is doing this because they want people to come down and experience Berkeley Heights and see what you've done with it. Kristen, you're a member of the Beautifications Committee. And how come the committee got involved here?
We were excited to work with the local restaurants and establishments to drive more people downtown and just create a vital and vibrant place that people can come. So we thought this was a great opportunity to do that and highlight that Berkeley Heights has a ton of restaurants that are very diverse, that are open later than you think, that you can eat in, dine out, or get delivery from. And we want to make sure residents and people from outside of town know that.
Hey, Greg, is every restaurant going to offer the same promotion?
No, each restaurant is going to be unique to what their restaurant does. Okay. If you're a coffee shop, they'll be doing some kind of coffee specials. If there are other restaurants, they'll be doing what they normally do with some kind of special. Could be dinner specials, or it could be a 3-course meal.
Got it. Now, Gene, how are people going to get... Now, why should people do it besides coming to see Berkeley Heights? Is there any kickback for the members?
Absolutely. So the whole theme is we have something called a passport, which
cool.
I will show. And it's basically going to have all of the restaurants in it, and there'll be a stamping system just like your passport. So with each restaurant that you go to, you're going to get a stamp, and there will be prizes for the residents in town or the non-residents in town that come and eat the most. So the week of September 11th to September 17th, we need to be hungry and hopefully be very full by the end of the week, and there will be really good prizes at the end. You need to have a minimum, by the way, of 5 stamps. But then the sky's the limit, and I'm naturally competitive. Julie Lloyd is naturally competitive, so watch out because we're not disqualified from winning.
There you go. Kristen, where do people get passports, and how can people find out more information about Restaurant Week?
So we are working on a lot of great ways to share the information. ExperienceBH.com is going to be the main way, but there's also going to be signage and articles in TAP and other local community Berkeley Heights newspapers, and you can download them or pick them up at any participating establishment. So there's a lot of ways to find out more information and know about what's going on downtown.
So let's get the word out, because anybody can eat in town.
Absolutely, and I'm going to be hungry.
There you go. Well, that's it. Restaurant Week. I'm making reservations for 42 at 8, so I got it covered. Thanks a lot for doing this, Greg. Beautification Committee. It's going to be a great week. Restaurant Week is
September 11th to September 17th.
dine in or take out.
Good evening, and the doc is going over to take care of some other business, and I'm here tonight to talk with our librarian, and your librarian, Stephanie Bacco. Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor.
Well, thank you for joining us. And Steph, how many years?
28.
28 years, and some big goings on with the library, but we're here tonight really to address what you, myself, the council, and others who know and are involved know certain information's out there which is just a little bit incorrect, perhaps more so. And I know you want to be heard on this, and we need this information out there to the public, so let's talk a little bit about it. Steph, let the public know essentially, the library is an autonomous organization, correct?
Yes, we're formed by law. We actually have statutes regulating how many board members. The mayor is a member of the board, the superintendent of schools is a member of the board, and 5 other citizens. And our funding is also set by law. It's 1/3 of a mil of equalized valuation. So it fluctuates, but we can count on, a number.
Okay, now, obviously when the entire, quote, swap, close quote, first came about, the library understood that the current library and its location was obviously well involved in this swap, correct?
Definitely.
Okay, and part of it all was going to be the Little Flower Church taking the possession and us taking the possession of that property up at the current Little Flower location across from the fire department. Well, at the same time, we are building a brand new facility. Okay, and that facility was going to and will include our library at a much, obviously significantly improved physical plant. But tell us how this process has gone about, and tell us how the library has been a component of this entire affair.
Well, I have to start by telling you, and I don't think I've ever told you this, that I started in '89. In 1990, 2 members from Little Flower came and said they wanted the library. So I have been holding my breath since 1990 for something to happen, and I'm turned blue. We've been kept in the loop. Obviously, the building's an important part of it. Most of the negotiations, of course, are between the town and the church. And we're a little bit on the fringes until that part is settled. But now our portion of it, the library's portion of it, is becoming more important. And we've been working with the council, with Councilman Fasher, and with ex-councilman Kevin Hall to set up the guidelines. Can I keep going?
Absolutely.
I started looking for property maybe 2 years ago, and I found out there aren't that many rental properties in Berkeley Heights. They're extremely expensive by my standards, never having paid rent. Suddenly $170,000 was a scary number. And most important, I was looking for good lighting, for good parking. We had standards, of course. And it came down to what is close to Columbia School. We do a lot of work with Columbia School. Kids walk over after school. So we couldn't move down to the center of Springfield Avenue, and the rectory became our best option.
Okay, now the rectory is that portion of the Catholic Church property that's across the street from the fire department. It's a separate facility from what has generally been the school and the worship area, and that became available. And let me ask you this: obviously, during this process, there were contractual negotiations between the town and the church. The library, while an essential component, you had your own counsel who was also involved. Is that correct?
Definitely.
Okay. So the library's rights, so to speak, and their concerns, they had an advocate, and you continue to have an advocate. That advocate has played an important part, together with yourself and the rest of the board of the library, in determining really how we're going to continue to keep services for the people of Berkeley Heights. Is that fair?
Definitely fair. It was, one step forward, one step back, and one step to the side on occasion. But finally, everybody can take a deep breath and start working on how much we can move into the rectory and how practical we can make it.
Okay. Now, it's important to understand that the library will continue. Is that not correct?
That's one thing the board has stressed from the day Joe Bruno walked up and said, "What do you think about?" That was their first and foremost consideration, never closing except for logistically moving around and everything. But no, the service continues.
Okay. Now, I think the citizens need to know that while the library is in that location, and perhaps it's 6 months, perhaps it's 7, depending upon what occurs, we will take possession of that, meaning the library will have possession of the rectory, and the rest of the property that still may be occupied by Little Flower under a rental agreement, they'll be responsible for maintaining the property. Is that your understanding?
Yes, and we'll be splitting utility bills for that time period.
Okay. So is it fair for me to say that the Berkeley Heights Library will not suffer an eviction?
An inconvenience, not an eviction.
Now, let's talk about in the future, because that's what this is all about. Okay? The library in the new building will take up a substantial amount of property, amount of floor space. What are your thoughts about moving forward? What can the people of Berkeley Heights look to in their new library, and what can we do that maybe we just couldn't be able to provide in the current structure?
I can quote the mayor, who's standing right next to me, that the current library has been, the catacombs and a labyrinth, and it wasn't built to be a library, so it's the world's least practical building. The meeting room is well hidden. I still want to leave breadcrumbs to go back there. It's on 2 levels, a flight of stairs, and it makes it hard to be ADA compliant, and for people with any limitations to get around. That will all be eliminated in our new building, where one beautiful big rectangle will have small meeting room space, which is something we don't have now. We'll have a decent meeting room with a high ceiling to show films and have projection equipment and everything. And we'll still have all the stuff a library has, but it's going to be new, improved, and the board really likes the architect that's being used. He's done many libraries and municipal buildings, so we have great faith that he'll help us maximize our space.
Well, Steph, I hope that we've answered the questions, that if anyone has questions as opposed to assumptions about the library. I understand you've even had people come up and tell you that the library was going to be closed. Is that correct?
Yes, and that was fairly distressing when I like to think I'm in the loop with the council, to have anyone imply that I'm not. And, it's been stressful. It's going to be stressful to pack and move. As Councilman Fasher recently said, it's so much harder than moving out of a dorm room. We're glad he had that thought. But now we're working on the bid packet for movers and storage, and we have to have wiring done and such so we can take all of our computers with us. We have a lot to get through before we can walk in there in December. But I did offer to keep the priest's cat after he leaves.
Okay, well, provide all kinds of services. And that's, well, listen, I hope you all have a better understanding of what's going to happen with our library and the kind of services that are going to continue. On a larger scale, I would ask the citizens of this town, before you begin to believe things that you don't necessarily have all the information on, please get in touch with our business administrator. If you have a library issue, go to the library. Here she is, all right, and ask Stephanie what's going to go on. She'll tell you, all right. So let's move forward as a town. Let's not pay too much attention to the misinformed, but let's understand that what we're going to do in this town is tremendous. The new facility is going to be outstanding. We're going to have a brand new library, and after 28 years, Stephanie will have a new place to call home. Is that right?
And I may even end up with an office. Think about it. You've been in my office.
I have. I have. Some would suggest it's so small you can't even change your mind. But in any event, we want to thank Steph, and we're looking forward to great things.
This opportunity.
Good evening, Berkeley Heights. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. So, Berkeley Heights, without further eloquence, please sit back, relax, and let's give a really big Berkeley Heights welcome to Beatlemania again.
Here we are at one of the 4 concerts at Memorial Field. They're free to the town, and the reason they're free is because of organizations like the Rotary. Jim Rementhal, president of the Berkeley Heights Rotary, tell us about your relationship in the summer concert series.
Well, one of the things we do as a community service organization is to sponsor things that are of worthiness, such as the summer concerts. We've been doing this now for 2 or 3 years running as one of the key sponsors, and we like to come. We actually just had our group here a couple of weeks back, so it's really a lot of fun, and it's something that we really enjoy doing.
So the Rotary's a service club then, Jim?
Service club, 100%. Service above self is our motto, and we're very anxious and continue to do a lot of good work in town. And this is just one of the events.
And now it's my understanding that it's a growing service club, too.
It is. We just gained 3 new members. We are on a campaign. My goal this year is to increase our membership by at least 50%. And we're out there looking. So if you're interested in the Rotary Club, please stop by and see us twice a month at the Chimney Rock on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, either the 2nd or 4th Wednesdays of the month. Love to have you for lunch.
So 12 o'clock?
12 o'clock, 12 to 1:30, you're out, back to business, and you'll get a lot of information from us.
Well, Jim, thank you very much for your support of the town.
Pleasure, Doc.
We appreciate it. We're going to go watch some Beatles. Hey, Mayor, great interview with Stephanie. Thank you very much. I appreciate you covering for me while we got ready here. It's time to dedicate our new park over at Memorial Field. Tom Barton from the Recreation Department, tell us a little bit about the new park.
Well, this park was recently constructed, and it's been funded from a grant from Union County, shared Union County Kids Rec Trust grant from last summer, and no Berkeley Heights taxpayer dollars involved. The matching funds came out of the Recreation Trust, which we build up with the funds that we charge for our programs, all our self-sustaining programs.
Now, Carol and George, you're also at the Recreation Department. What is this trust, the trust? Where does that come from again?
Union County Trust. We actually work very hard to match the grant so that we funded this. So it's all my hard-earned work. Thank you. No.
Well, Carolyn, thank you. We appreciate it. Tom, good job. We are taking care.
Install a fence too along Bolton Boulevard, and there's going to be a fence installed along Bolton Boulevard within the next week or 2, and the playground itself will be completely fenced in.
Wonderful.
From the soccer games that'll go on for the siblings to play here.
So, Mayor, are you going to hit the swings or not? I was already on the swings.
Well, I know. I saw you were limping. Did you fall off that swing?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Let me just say what a great job that you know, Carolyn and Tom do. We have a tremendous summer program, and that's how we acquire our trust. In other words, we're saving money through some of our programs so that they do a lot of their own self-funding. So we're getting the money from the taxpayers who are getting a service, and then we take that money and we do something like this.
You know, it's not official till we cut the ribbon. So, Mayor, if you please, a little drum roll, if we can get one in the background, and the park is open. Woo! All right, yeah. Look at you guys. All right. That's it. Well, thank you very much, Mayor. It's time to sign off. We're going to go watch Beatlemania at the Summer Concert Series. And thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a great edition of the Mayor's Roundtable. A lot of great, timely information, but some fun stuff too. Special thanks to the Communications Committee and to the Recreation Department.
Absolutely, Doc. And we're on the road, okay, so we're getting better at this. And our goal is to get information out to the people of the town. If you have any questions, I am being somewhat redundant here, get to the town meetings, get to your elected officials and ask them. Thanks a lot, Doc.
Thank you. For the Mayor's Roundtable, I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio and Mayor Robert Woodruff. Have a great night.